on WCCO Television, the Northwest's leading news station. This is the 10 p.m. report.
Good evening, everyone. We're starting now to see the cost of the latest strike against Northwest Airlines.
Well, David, the walkout by 3,500 machinists and baggage handlers is apparently taking its toll on both sides of the picket lines. One airline industry analyst told WCCO today that the reduced flight schedule is costing Northwest more than $1 million a day in lost revenue. And the strike is also spurring layoffs of non-striking employees. 184 pilots have been laid off so far, and more than 900 flight attendants learned today they're out of a job for the time being. Ann Rubenstein has the report.
In the Twin Cities, 958 Northwest flight attendants today received layoff notices that are effective as of midnight tomorrow night. They will join the 184 Northwest pilots laid off Sunday night. The flight attendant layoff was based on seniority, and the union that represents them believes those affected will be able to collect unemployment benefits. The union says the layoffs come as no surprise, that many employees are used to labor problems at Northwest.
The overall impression we've received from all of our members, both in Minneapolis and the outlying bases in Seattle, in Chicago, and New York, is one, unfortunately, of quiet resignation. Here we go again with Northwest.
The flight attendants have remained on the job since the strike began, calling that a neutral position. The union says it will remain neutral as long as Northwest does not hire new workers to replace the strikers. This morning, several hundred strikers demonstrated on Post Road near the airport. One person was arrested for failure to move a car, and there was more rock throwing. No injuries were reported. Ann Rubenstein, WCCO Television News, the Twin Cities.
And 6 people were arrested today in a northeast Minneapolis labor dispute. It was the second day of confrontations on the picket line at a local company called the Bureau of Engraving, where 800 graphic artists have been on strike for a month and a half now. The trouble started after the company moved to hire non-union workers. People applying for those jobs have had rocks thrown at them, and several tires have been slashed. Efforts to end the strike are at a standstill, and no new talks are scheduled. Well, the fighting in the South Atlantic has really heated up.
The full fury of Argentina's Air Force descended on ships of the Royal Navy in fierce fighting today. At least one British destroyer is heavily damaged. We have unconfirmed reports that a second ship was also hit in the air raids. The action began this morning when several Argentine Skyhawk jets attacked a British warship. The exchange left one jet down, the others fleeing. Later, more Argentine air raids, this time against British ships protecting the Falkland Sound and the British beachhead. 2 more Argentine jets, reportedly, were downed. British Harrier fighter bombers also attacked the main Argentine base around the Stanley Airport with no British planes lost, but then the word on the naval losses.
We have now received some bad news. One of our ships of the task force has been badly damaged, and early reports are that she is in difficulty. Rescue operations are in progress.
The British also released a photo showing the last moments of the HMS Antelope, sunk yesterday when bomb experts failed to defuse a bomb that had fallen into the engine room. Despite the losses, Britain's Iron Lady, Margaret Thatcher, told Parliament today that she is in no mood to stop fighting.
There can be no ceasefire without full withdrawal of Argentine troops. That is in Resolution 502, and if necessary, if there were an attempt to have a ceasefire without that, we should have to use a veto.
And in Argentina, this was a day of patriotism, not peace, as the nation celebrated its 172nd Independence Day. The colorful parades were a stark contrast to the fighting taking place just a few hundred miles away. Argentine President Galtieri urged one and all to support the war. The Independence Day, indeed, was thought to have played a major role in the heavy Argentine attacks today. Trouble is brewing in the Middle East again. Today, Israeli warplanes shot down 2 Syrian jets during a clash over central Lebanon. The trouble broke out during a routine Israeli reconnaissance flight over Beirut. The Syrian planes shattered into fragments across the countryside. The Israeli jets were unharmed. Both Syrian pilots were rushed to a nearby hospital where one remains in critical condition. Israel has vowed to continue its flights over Lebanon despite such intervention from Syria. After 25 days of battle, Iranian troops have recaptured the port city of Khorramshahr. Iraq seized the capital city of that oil-rich province during heavy fighting last year. Today, Iranian television released film of the Khorramshahr battle, including this dramatic downing of a Soviet-made Iraqi helicopter. A St. Paul murder case may be closer to solution tonight.
Well, it's the case of Diana Smith and Scott Jones, who were killed over a year ago by someone who forced them to inhale chloroform. Now, a man accused of kidnapping and raping a Hennepin County woman is also being looked at as a suspect in the Smith and Jones murders. Carolyn Lowe has the report.
The man is a former boyfriend of Diana Smith, who was found murdered with her fiancé, Scott Jones, in his apartment in March of 1981. Last year, police questioned the dental student about the killings, and they claim he admitted he had visited Scott's duplex not long before the murders and thought he might have left some fingerprints behind. Police files also indicate the suspect had talked about chloroform before it had been publicized as a method for the murders of his former girlfriend and her fiancé. But during police questioning, the man also denied any involvement in the mysterious case. For much of the past year, the Smith and Jones case has remained on hold. But police actively reopened it again last Friday after the dental student was arrested for the rape and kidnapping of another former girlfriend. According to Hennepin County court files, Brooklyn Park police claim the man admitted using handcuffs and a toy gun